Hi there, my name is Chris. You may recognize me from unsuccessful YouTube channels like Mediaverse and Some Type of Gamers and Out of Touch News. But anyway, enough about that. This is the Mediaverse podcast. Today we will be talking about obscure JRPGs as well as new stuff. Joining me as always is the legendary Kyle. How are you today, sir?
Tired, but we got some great news today, though. So we still have some stuff from E3 that we did not talk about. We figured we'd talk about for next week. So we got the three main things about Hyperkin, Polymega, Arcade 1-Up announced a few things, which is actually pretty cool.
All right.
We got a little bit politics news, but we never usually talk about that unless it involves with gaming. We're going to talk about the new title, the Kingman prequel that just came up. And it's a weird one, but it makes sense. And some more Final Fantasy stuff. And some MCU news. And stuff that EA's been saying because they need to protect their precious loot box. Because they know eventually they're going to lose it.
All right.
We'll go with the E3 stuff first. Hyperkin has announced that they have started a N64 clone console called the Ultra Retron 64.
So this is exciting, I guess, but at the same time, I haven't had much luck with Hyperkin products. I have a friend that has gotten the Retron 3, and the thing couldn't play all the games he actually wanted to play on it. And I'm wondering, is this going to have the same problems? I know with the Retron 5, they were doing something kind of shady with actually having emulators built into the system.
Yeah.
Which you're technically not allowed to do that.
Yeah, you're not allowed to sell emulation in your systems.
Yeah, so I wonder what this is actually going to be, because I don't think it's going to be a FPGA, so I don't know exactly how this thing's going to work, or if it will even work well, because Hyperkin, at least for me, I haven't had any good experiences with Hyperkin products. How about you, Kyle?
Never had a good experience with Hyperkin, but I am interested in their product because there is one thing I do like about it is that it has a controller, and you can probably buy the controller separately. And this is great for people if you have an N64. It's a wireless controller that kind of looks like those, that's more like, hey, this is what an N64 should look like, and has a GameCube style stick, so you play it like this. So, and it's quite interesting. And the weirdest part is it has in the adapter of the controller, the wireless receiver, actually is a GameCube memory card, right? Not GameCube, N64, where you plug your memory card in, and you can put an SD card, which I was like, oh, that's interesting. And they know like all the memory cards are dying, so they're kind of like, the controller got me a little more interesting than anything because it is a wireless controller for a retro system. But they do not recommend plugging a rumble pack in there because that will destroy your system like crazy.
Wait, really? So you can't use the rumble pack with the Hyperkin system?
Yeah, if you use the wireless.
Oh my god, that's wow. I don't know.
You better have that thing built-in rumble because I want that built-in rumble. I'll pay extra for that.
Rumble is fun, and I the N64 controller is what it is, but kind of part of the experience is like when you show it, especially to like younger people, you're like, look at this thing, and they're like, what is this, a spaceship or a controller? Like, it's so weird and bizarre.
You do not know the stories that I've gone through with people at Platinum, where I had to explain actually how the controller works. Like a kid like has the controller like a regular one and has his thumb right on the stick right there, and I'm like, that's not how you use it. And he's like, he's using it like this. I'm like, me and the owner Jack are like, just like, that's not how you use it. And we show him this is how you actually play this game, and he still does it like this, and we're like, your thumb's gonna hurt a lot if you do it like that, right?
Yeah.
And
Well,
remember, he's
anyway,
5-year olds. Yeah,
kids.
yeah.
Speaking of game technology, this is a little bit of an add-on, but it goes along with what we were just talking about. But I figured we'd talk about this one too. The company, I forgot which company, announced a new flash card for Sega Genesis called the Mega SD. And the flash card has a FPGA inside of it,
Ooh.
and you can download ROMs for Sega Genesis and Sega CD games and play the Sega CD games without a Sega CD.
Ooh. Sounds
Yeah.
actually awesome.
Yeah, the thing is actually it's expensive. It's like $200.
Damn.
Yeah.
But how much is a Sega CD if you buy it out in the wild?
It depends really where you find them. When I used to go to like the flea markets like Collingswood, I usually saw them going for like 40 or $50, but that was like 3 years ago.
Yeah. No, I'm
Plus
trying to
it
get an idea.
Yeah, plus it is a gamble because you might need to replace the laser for the Sega CD because they are old. Um But it is interesting that this flash card exists, that it has a field programmable array inside of it, which, makes it so you can play Sega CD games without a freaking Sega CD, which is crazy.
Yeah, no, it is. That is
Um
really crazy.
I'm trying to find out who actually is building this. It might be analog just because it is expensive. Here we go. Mega CD or SD. SD. Uh, yeah, I'm having a hard time who's building this. Apparently, I think you can even play 32X games on this thing as well.
It wouldn't surprise me, actually.
Yeah, $260 is the price for
Damn.
this.
That's a lot of cheese.
Yeah, that is a lot of stuff, a lot of money. But anyway, let's move on, shall we?
Yeah, so I was just on the internet, and this is just breaking news. Disney and Fox just got hit with even more layoffs.
Yeah, I mean, it's what
Not
happens
surprised.
when these like mega. Listen, we're living in the age of mega corporations right now. As much as everybody likes that Disney bought Fox and they're like, we're gonna get the Fantastic Four and the X-Men in the MCU, that shouldn't have been allowed to happen.
Yeah, it
Disney
shouldn't.
owns like
Just like AT&T, that should not happen either.
yeah, and I mean, of course there are going to be layoffs because
Yeah.
essentially there are two companies that essentially did the same thing. So they have two sets of people doing the same job. And
Yep.
unfortunately that's what's going to continue to happen with this until Disney pretty much, swallows Fox, and
Yep.
then we get you know we pledge our souls to the media empire of Disney and watch Disney Plus and Hulu and ESPN and ABC all the time.
And National Geographic, that was the real reason the Fox deal happened.
I thought they wanted it for international things, something to do with TV in Europe, but
No, that was just a bonus, actually. They wanted National Geographic to think about it. How many people actually watch National Geographic documentaries? A
I
lot
get
of people, actually.
that's a good point because I guess it is more prestigious than Disney Nature because Disney makes those nature movies every year as well.
Yep. So think about it. Like, if you have National Geographic on your streaming platform, you can watch any of them, any National Geographic documentary you can now. So yep. Yeah, I just find that interesting. I just was just like on my phone, something popped up, and I was like, oh. So
Yeah,
yeah, like like we are definitely living in the age where mega corporations are buying each other. Like this happened with AT&T, and AT&T is right now rethinking about DC Universe and everything. So, which I hope they don't, because DC Universe is like the equivalent. Like I hate to say it, not like as big as like other companies. I'm just saying like as big as other company. I think DC Universe is almost the equivalent of what the Marvel Studios is. You know, like you
It's
get
not at all, but listen, we'll talk plenty about DC
almost.
Universe when
Not
it.
saying
Listen, Kyle, we'll talk about DC Universe when it probably gets canceled, but let's stick on topic. But I do like it, but
gets
let
axed.
let's get back on track here.
I do love it too.
So what's next, Kyle?
Yeah, let's get back to it. That's
Polymega?
it for that little sidetrack of breaking news.
Yeah.
Polymega. Yeah, Polymega. This is an interesting company. This is a company that wants to give you like sort of like an in between an FPGA, like the best way to describe it, but an up like lower than FPGA, but higher quality than a Retron. So
Yeah.
far, I don't know the prices on them, but they have interchangeable mounts. So like you can plug in a 32, you can plug in a 32X in there. And this is the
Well,
interesting thing, because this is
actually,
what a Retron 5 doesn't do. It
I
lets you
have,
rip the ROM and save it into your system.
yeah. Right now, Polymega, it's saying that it is doing a original PlayStation, TurboGrafx CD, Sega CD, Neo Geo CD, and Sega Saturn, which I'm very curious how it's able to do
Yeah.
that. Because Saturn is kind of weird. It's a nice looking box. I
Yeah,
will
no, the
say
emulation
that.
for that.
It
Yep.
has some
I will admit
interesting
to that.
controllers you can buy for it. The presentation looks nice. However, you are absolutely right. I do not know any pricing on this thing. Do you know when this thing
Yeah,
is
no,
actually supposed to ship?
I'm wondering about that. Like, also it says here it will have no lag. So it will be like lag free. So I'm like really curious.
Well, don't forget
I'm
lag.
also looking it up on the
Lag
site.
comes down to your TV a lot of times, especially with modern televisions. Um,
Yep.
these modules look cool. Okay, I actually found some pricing. So the modules are about $60 each, it looks like. I'm just going through them all right now. And yeah, the modules are $60. The controller is $40.
That's
And
not for the wire or the wireless.
this is the wireless. They have a bundle. Wow,
Oh, there
holy
we go.
shit. They have a bundle where you can get all the modules for $650. That's a
Yeah,
lot of
no, that's
cash.
yeah, it is. That's like as much as getting an original PlayStation when it first came, PlayStation 3 when it originally came out.
They have another bundle where you can get bunch of other. Yeah, this thing is actually a lot more pricey than I thought it was going to be. It really
Three hundred
depends on
dollars.
how well this works though, because if this works well, definitely is something to consider. Especially
No,
as
yeah.
older systems age out. Saturns are kind of pricey. Well, the games are pricey.
The games are pricey. The Saturn itself isn't. Plus, don't forget all the TVs are going to go to uh they're all the TVs are going to go exclusively to HDMI pretty soon.
Yeah, that's definitely something that that's the biggest benefit to these third party systems is you can hook them up to modern TVs.
Yeah,
So
like yeah, that's the benefit. Plus, these things will like upscale all your things to 1080p. Like they
yeah,
even like they showed up 32x like they showed up the 32x like Star Wars game and it looks freaking great on it.
Yeah. I mean, 32X is weird and niche. But
Yeah. Oh yeah. Super niche.
definitely,
Just like our
I
subject.
definitely am. I'm more curious when they start coming out with these for like PlayStation 2 and GameCube. I mean, I have tons of PS1
Yeah.
games, but
Same
you
here.
could play PS1 games on a PS3. So, that doesn't really
Yeah.
appeal to me. Sega
Yeah. I've done
CD,
it.
yeah, Sega CD is interesting. However, I've never really collected for that system, but definitely for those who have a ton of Sega CD games, this probably is hopefully a great solution for that, as well as, it's crazy expensive TurboGrafx CD games. And are Neo Geo CD games expensive? I
Yep.
don't really
And
hear
also,
much about Neo Geo CD except for that it takes forever to load.
yeah, I haven't heard much about the Neo Geo stuff. Like I know the original Neo Geo is like it's like having a Rolex. It's like having a Rolex watch.
Well, yeah, and it was expensive back when it was actually made too. So
So
let's move on, Kyle. What else we got?
yeah, our arcade one up, and our friend Bill would be really excited for this and be like, "Wait, are you serious?" So you know how our friend Bill loves the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, right?
Indeed, he does.
So Bill will be happy about this for $350. He could have it in his basement, or if he ever just or has a place of his own, he could get he could actually have a turtles cabinet with Turtles One and Turtles in Time with 4-player controller.
Yeah, this is they do have actual like real arcade units too, but these are about 45 inches high. They're like 23 inches wide
Yeah.
and 19 inches deep. They're 250 bucks for a Street Fighter one. They have quite a few of them. You can even get like Mortal Kombat and Space
They
Invaders, and
announced a lot of
they look nice for what they are. I've actually seen them being sold at FYE and stuff.
I see them sold at Walmart.
Yeah,
And I'm not kidding about that. Walmart does sell these.
yeah.
Like And like what caught my interest with the Turtles in Time license, because and believe it or not, it's 150. I think it's because of the Turtles license. That's why.
It most definitely is to cover that license fee. I'm sure they had to pay Viacom a lot of money to get it. It is cool.
Yeah,
It's definitely
like
something for somebody that has a lot of like extra money lying around. I don't think I would buy this anytime soon. Um, you know, it takes up quite a bit
yeah,
of space, but it is
yeah, it
cool.
does. It does. Like they announced like a lot of other stuff I can't remember, but I do know they announced a Star Wars one, like a Star Wars arcade machine. So like the good thing about these things is like you're not just getting like one game, you're getting multiple games in one cabinet, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, totally.
And and plus like even though it is like a little big or small, they have like smaller units too, believe it or not.
Yeah,
Like
I've
so
seen
like
quite a few of them.
like I would like if I was living on my own or had a lot more space, I probably and I wanted to like fill out like put out like a lot of like money, I probably do this. Get one like this, because I just thought, oh, I always wanted one of these, but
Oh,
but that's just me.
being somebody that lives on their own in an apartment, it's like I don't need more clutter in here. Maybe if I had a house,
Yeah,
then
yeah,
definitely maybe. But in an apartment, it's like nah.
yeah, yeah. No, I get it. Okay, so alrighty, so we're gonna go to some Marvel news now. So Kevin Feige confirmed that he's been in talk with Keanu Reeves.
This is interesting. What
This has
what
been his year lately.
what Marvel thing could you see Keanu Reeves being?
Well, originally, believe it or not, he was in talks to play Doctor Strange.
I've heard that before too, but that's
And it's
off the
hilarious because,
table.
like, if he got rid of some of his long hair, he could do, yeah. Like, and it's funny, like, I actually could imagine him being that.
Yeah,
I could see him probably being, if they're planning on getting Eternals, like, right now, I could see him as probably one of the Eternals characters. Or, crazy talk, Adam Warlock. Why not?
maybe. Definitely could do that role. Um, yeah, it's weird because he needs somebody that like is like more of a physical type of character than somebody who is like talky, I guess.
Yeah. Like I
But I
said,
I really can't think of who he could possibly be.
Hercules?
Eh, nah. I'm just thinking off the top of my head and what characters they haven't done yet,
Yeah.
and I can't really think of anybody that I can really think of that I would be like Keanu Reeves is a perfect fit for that character.
Yeah. It I mean, I guess it's really hard to think. Like, he could be in like one of the Agents of Shield's like hero program thing, and he's like this beautiful, like, or they're planning the X-Men. I'm just kidding.
I'm sure a lot of people are probably throwing out Moon Knight,
Yeah,
but I feel like he's not really a right fit for Moon Knight because he's very like he has like multiple personalities and stuff, and
you're
you
right
know
about that.
Keanu Reeves doesn't really fit that. Yeah, so it's very interesting. Who knows? Maybe he'll turn out to be like a Shield agent, like you said, or
Yeah,
something
like,
else.
well, right now we could definitely take off the table that he isn't in the Black Widow movie because that's being
Yeah,
filmed right now.
yeah.
Is it
Maybe
being filmed?
maybe they're eyeing him to be a villain.
Like I said, Adam Warlock for Guardians 3.
And who knows? Maybe like he'll be like a villain in like Doctor Strange or Black Panther or something.
Yeah, yeah. Right now it could be anything. Like right now, like the Marvel with Endgame over, the MCU is more open than ever.
Yeah.
So yeah, and now let's get to the next topic. Lynn,
Oh shit! I
I
just
can't say his
realized
first
something
name.
actually for Keanu Reeves.
What?
Although I'd kind of hate this, but Namor, it's got that look.
Oh, oh my God!
Yeah.
Oh my God! Keanu Reeves, let him keep the beard, please. Let him keep the beard. He would
Yeah.
look so. Namor would actually look amazing with a beard, especially Keanu Reeves' beard.
Yeah.
Like I can actually see. I can actually imagine the water effects around the beard too. It would look so amazing. Thank you, Aquaman. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Actually, what's funny? They do talk about like earthquakes, you know, in the ocean, near Wakanda, actually, in the Atlantic, in Endgame. So they are trying to hint towards that.
Yeah.
And plus, they do want an actor. And if you think about it, they do want an actor that's not controversial. And look how non-controversial Keanu Reeves is. And when some controversy happens, all his fans just defend him and go, "On what proof do you have besides your word?"
Yeah. Well, I'm
So
just throwing that out there because that finally came to me. But what else is happening,
yeah.
Kyle?
Well, they finally have some rumor talkings about Shin, right?
I
Shang
think it's
Chi.
Shang Chi. Yeah.
Yes, Shang Chi. Lin Du Lin. Did I say his name right?
I don't know. It looks like it's like Ludi Lee, but I'm
Oh, yeah,
not
yeah, it's Louis
sure.
Lee. That's how you pronounce it.
Yeah.
Louis Lee. And Louis Lee, you might remember him from such great movies like Power Rangers and Aquaman. because the only reason you would remember him is that he would throw his head in the toilet.
Indeed.
I had to throw that out there. Yes, and Donnie Yen are rumored for that movie, for in talks right now.
I mean, Donnie Yen is incredible, so
Yes,
that
I
would
could
be
see
awesome
him.
if he's in it.
I would love him as to be like that mentory character.
Yeah.
Like, I do not want him as a villain. I want him to be the mentor. I do. I just want him to be the mentor and be like, yes. And they go, oh, he's the villain. I'm gonna be like, this ruins the whole like training. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
him as a villain would be interesting too, just because, we'd be guaranteed a really cool fight at the end. Because I
That
really
is
hope
true.
they focus on the martial arts and don't really go too much into like special effects on this. Like, I would just love to see like straight up fights in this movie.
Yeah,
I don't know if Shang-Chi has any
actually,
powers. Like, I'm sure. I don't know him that
he's
well, but
very obscure.
I'm just thinking in my mind, like, okay, he does kung fu and probably can shoot a fireball,
I
but
do.
I
Okay.
don't know for sure.
How about this? This just Marvel. If you even listen to this podcast, I have zero chances of that. Here, if you're gonna make this work, I would love this. I think everyone would love this, just to make it work for everybody. Make Johnny Yin the mentor, but also make him a villain, like at the very end, and so we can just have that like the student surpasses the teacher moment type
If
of
you do
thing.
that, though, you pretty much remake Batman Begins, though.
Yeah, but it's still that. But that was a good movie, though.
Yeah, I know it was a good movie.
Come on, it's still a good movie. I mean, come on,
I
Liam
love those
Neeson.
Batman movies, but
I do.
yeah, we'll see what he actually is going to be. But I think
And I
he
like Ludi, and I like Louis Lin. I liked him in Power Ranger. He's very energetic. I feel like he'll bring that energy to the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
is he up for the title character, Shang-Chi?
Yeah, yeah.
All
Apparently,
right.
he's gonna be the title. I mean, it would make sense. He's a very young actor, and Marvel probably wants to hire a young actor that's not that very well known and get him down for a multi-year contract.
Yeah, he was good in Power Rangers. That's all I've
I
really
enjoyed him.
seen him in, though.
Yeah, same here. And Aquaman, although for that and I realized he was actually in that toilet moment, and I was like, really, you hired him? He has so much more potential than putting his head in a toilet. That's all I'm
Yeah.
saying. All right. Let's see. We'll go to Bernie Sanders talks about how the game industry should be unionized. You should be unionized,
I mean,
which
a lot of people have been. It's a
yeah,
good
but
idea.
it's a good idea. And it's interesting that a politician actually talked about it.
Yeah, it's strange. I guess, there's I mean, that guy's running for president, so I mean,
Again,
I'm sure he's like, I just got to get the votes, but
I gotta get the young people.
I have a cynical view on politics, which I
Yeah.
will not share. But
Me neither. Like the best way to
it's
say it is politics is evil sometimes,
yeah,
depending on whose side you're
it's
on.
good that they're talking about unionization. It's kind of those employees, especially lately, seem to be getting a real rough deal working for game companies. In fact, these game companies are doing a lot of damage that I'm sure a lot of young people are watching these people on YouTube constantly talking about how the industry mistreats employees, and then they're probably like, "Yeah, you know what? I don't think I want to make video games."
Yeah, like, and this is just I forgot to add this, but this will go into like the whole like you know, unionize and everything. Nintendo. You know why they delayed Animal Crossing, right?
Yeah, Kyle, I know.
Yeah, because which they don't want to put their workers in crunch,
Yeah.
which I find very interesting. Like even Microsoft is like, yo, go home, go to your family's weekend. They even force their employees to get out of work. Like they have to force them out the door.
I mean, Nintendo seems like they're a pretty decent company, but then again, there are like crazy people that work for Nintendo that have willingly done crunch to themselves, like Sakurai, where
Oh yeah,
like he like freaking almost kills himself trying to make Super Smash Brothers.
every year too, except for this one. I heard he actually was more doing like a consultant. Like for 4 though, he developed tendonitis in his elbow and had to use a trackball for most of his work.
Yeah.
But and he does. And the funny thing is, he didn't want to work on the same game for years, and look what he did to himself.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
But
but
it's good when companies treat their employees well. And it definitely shows.
yeah, you want
You
to
get
work
a
for a game
better,
industry
yeah.
product.
What? Oh, I'm sorry. I was like
Product.
saying something, but you kind of
No,
like
you're
started
saying better
talking.
product. I was agreeing you.
Yeah, yeah.
You
You
get a
get
better product.
better products, and yeah. I don't know. You kind of derailed me
Yes,
there.
I'm sorry. Better product, better people. Everybody's happy. Better reviews, and everything. But these people nowadays are like, we gotta get it out. We gotta get it out. We gotta get it out. Oh my god, 100-hour work week, everybody. No, you can't go see. You can't go see Uncle Owen. For your family reunion. You're staying here because you're developing a video game.
Hmm.
Like seriously, like it's damaging. Like here's the best way to say it: if you're gonna work for the game industry, go work for Nintendo.
If you can get in
Yeah, if you can get in, or sell your company.
and speak Japanese.
Yeah. Well, Retro is an American company owned by Nintendo, right?
Yes, I do know that.
Okay, making sure. That's why I said just sell your company.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. We have a little bit of Kingsman news. Kingsman finally got the new Kingsman, which is going to be a prequel. It's going to have a different name. It's going to be called The Kingsmen, which
King's
I'm
Man.
wondering. Yeah, The Kingsman. I'm wondering if this is going to be like if this is going to be like the foundation of the Kingsmen, like
Maybe.
because they did talk about it a lot in the first movie.
Yeah. I'm very confused at one thing. Is this movie? I remember reading something about this movie. Being a prequel, like you said, but is it taking place in World War I or World War II or something like that?
I think it takes place in World War I
Okay. Yeah.
because it's talking about doing the foundation of the Kingsmen and everything, and like it's interesting because they're going to a prequel, and hilariously, Kingsman has a lot more potential, has the most potential for a cinematic universe, and I'm surprised that Fox did not go on the thing hard.
Well, we know why. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be the same director that did the other two. I like Kingsman 1 a lot, and I do like number 2 as well. I know number 2 kind of divides people. Definitely do think
I love both movies.
yeah, yeah. I think the first movie is a little bit better, but the second movie is still good.
Agree.
Um, so
Yeah,
I'm
no, like I
excited
love
to
the first movie
see
a lot.
yeah, I'm excited to see what they do with this. However, I am a little disappointed that it's not another, it's not Kingsman 3.
There, um, they are going to be another one. Don't worry, it's going to be another Kingsman 3. But right now they want to work on a prequel, just to give them a break from like giving us a break from Eggsy and everybody. Like
Yeah.
I love the Kingsman franchise so much. I have both posters. It's the movie I force people to watch because I'm like, have you not watched this movie? Like, no. I'm like, you need to watch this, and I force people in a basement and then force them to watch it, and then they go, I am glad you made me watch that movie. It is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm glad a prequel is happening and it expands the lore more of Kingsman itself and everything. And that's what it is.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll go on to the next subject. Final Fantasy VII. They did not. We found out more things that this is actually going to be an episodic thing. And the weird thing is they didn't make it clear that it was episodic or not
I'm still confused
on the
because the
box
game
logo.
the game doesn't say part 1 or anything. It just says Final Fantasy VII Remake. So, I don't know
Yes,
if I'm not sure if it's going to be episodic. I've heard conflicting things that they're saying, well, you see, it's going to be like Final Fantasy VII, except we're going to really expand the storyline and go more in detail with things in each game. And I'm like, wait, each game? What are you talking about?
Did you not know this episode? Why did you not put it on the box?
Yeah,
Like,
I'm sure it will become more clear when the game gets closer to release. However, weren't we talking about how the game's on 2 Blu-rays?
yeah, we didn't talk about that. Actually, no, we were. Yeah, last week.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah, I
didn't
had
you
the notes.
mention it was gonna be on 2
Yeah,
Blu-rays? So I'm like,
yeah.
how is it gonna be episodic? Because that if it's on 2 Blu-rays, that sounds like how is it gonna be episodic then? Unless like the visuals are that intense for some
Yeah,
reason, or one Blu-ray is a data disc.
yeah. It's gonna be funny. It's like the PlayStation is gonna go so crazy. It's gonna lift off and take off, and you'll never play Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
Like it looks great. It's using Unreal Engine. It's using the Unreal Engine. It looks amazing. It looks like a next generation game.
Oh, I would assume so.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't blame you.
But yeah, I mean, our friend Mike is super hyped for it.
Yeah, but then I wonder if he's gonna find out it's gonna be episodic, like truly episodic, and when he hits the end of Midgar, go, wait, that's it? That's it?
Well,
'Cause
knowing him, he will buy it, then beat it, then complain to me about why the second one's not out, and then get the second one, play it. But he'll probably download them all, and then when they have a complete collection, then he'll buy it physically.
yeah,
Because that's his style.
yeah, that is true. That is true.
Unless they're all full games, and Square Enix does something cool where it's like, oh wow, like this is cool.
Yeah, yeah, no, it is. But anyway, here's the last thing because this is something that kind of grinded my gears. EA said they're not loot boxes, they're surprise mechanics.
Yeah, Kyle, I know you have a lot to say about this, so let her rip, my friend.
Okay, stop saying surprise mechanics. Don't say that. This is a gotcha mechanic, just like those little fake those gamble machines. Okay, literally, you are trying to twist words to your agenda, to their agenda, so they can really take all the money because they are so afraid of government regulation that may happen. And if it does happen, I will be happy because I literally had to talk about microtransactions with my little brother and why they're very bad. He literally told me he bought a gun on Roblox that made him a better shooter for accuracy. And I said, they just took advantage of you. He's like, what are you talking about? I had to get good at video games. I didn't buy anything. And I still don't buy anything to get an advantage. That's how a real gamer plays.
In some ways, you're right, but in other ways, you're kind of sounding like a cranky old man. Where back in my day, we had to get good at video games. We couldn't just buy better weapons.
I know.
But
seriously,
yeah.
your great grandpappy didn't buy all those. Your great no, the best one is the Blizzard one where it's like your great grandpappy didn't just buy all those like he's like, Dad, I need your credit card so I can buy more resources. Your great grandpappy didn't just buy all those resources back in his day, but great grandpa didn't die all those resources back in my day, but great grandpappy's still alive. I was like, God. This was like during the whole cringe with the loot box thing.
The loot box thing is annoying because it's randomized items.
And they still don't think it's gambling. It is gambling.
Yeah, that's the main thing. I don't like it when I don't even like it in real life when like I buy something and it's like you have a chance to get the thing you want. It's like no. It's like
give it to me.
In Tales games in Street Fighter, I will be dumb enough to like waste my money on outfits as long as I know what I'm getting. But as soon as they do it where it's like, well, you have a chance to get this, then I'm like, screw you guys. You don't have my money then.
This is where I will say where loot boxes are okay. If you get them for free.
Yeah.
If you get them for free and no money is there. because at least this way I have a random chance because I earned it. Even it's still stupid, but people do like defect my argument. But the point is, I didn't pay money onto it, so it's not considered gambling. It was gambling when I had a grind for it, but that's it. I didn't pay money for it, so I'm fine. But it's just been that, and also the guy in the Kotaku episode says pretty much they were saying it's quite ethical. It isn't ethical. This is getting out of hand. I hope that government regulation comes in for this loot box because they were warned a couple times.
I don't want government regulation in games though, because I'm afraid they'll just keep going with it. They'll be like, oh
That is
yeah,
true.
like Australia. Like they have a ton of government regulation where it's like, yeah, that game's too violent. You can't release that.
Yeah, no, you're right.
There's
But
naked girls in this game. You can't release that. Like that's I don't want
Saints
government
Row is one of those.
regulation. I just want them to like realize like, hey, stop selling random shit to people. Like
Yeah, but the only way it seems like it's gonna happen if government people intervene.
well, that's a shaky slope, and I'm afraid what possibly could happen after that when
Yeah.
they start dipping their toes a little bit more in. I mean, unfortunately, video games are very much used as an scapegoat for a lot of other things.
Yep.
So
Gun violence.
if the government starts intervening with loot boxes, what else are they going to start intervening in on video games?
That's true.
Just
But so
some
far,
food for
the other
thought, though.
companies, like other countries like Belgium and stuff, they only did it on loot boxes. And like as long as it's on that, I'll be fine. But like I will push it where I will defend where it's like, yeah. But the problem is they talk about we should self-regulate, guys. We should do that.
Well, they haven't been doing a good job when it
You
comes
haven't
to it.
been doing a good job. And this is why the government's on your ass now.
Yeah.
So, like I said, and these microtransactions have gotten out of control where like my little brother are being tricked and taken advantage of, and I get it, it's their generation stuff, but that's not what games should be. You shouldn't just buy an item just so you can get better with hardcore ash. You should earn items and stuff in game. But I'm just saying, as a guy who used to play video games back in the day, I get it. There's a 20-year, I get it. There's like a 20-year difference, but I know when I see something wrong and I see someone getting taken advantage of, I have to say something.
Yeah, I mean, it's stupid, but that's just how it is. But we'll see what happens.
The good thing is I explained to my little brother the difference between DLC and microtransactions. And I told him DLC is like content everybody has. So even if that person doesn't have it, they can play it on your console and still use it. So it was a good conversation afterwards. So.
Yeah.
But anyway, to the topic of today, we're going to be talking about some niche JRPGs, games that should get a little bit of love. Me and Chris picked out a few. I have some on the side, and he has some on the side. And also, I have some I can think of the top of my head, too. And I don't want to grab everything.
I picked a few titles on the side, but do you want to start, Kyle?
Yeah, I figured this would be the start of the topic, which got me into this. So as of recently, I've been playing this one series, and I'm just putting them up as a series together just to make it easy. Because I've been recently getting back into some JRPGs on PS2.
Yeah.
So I picked up Shadow Hearts, and these games are great. They're like horror. They have horror elements and everything. They're like horror and JRPG put together, and they have this little thing called the Judgment Ring, where there's this little dial and everything. You hit it, and if you hit the red spot, you get a critical.
Nice.
So you make your own luck. It's so great, and it also takes place during World War I. Second game, you get to face Rasputin.
Oh, it's a weird demon guy. Well, I'll match your duology with another duology of my own. These are the Magna Carta games, 1 and 2.
You know what's funny?
What's that?
I have the same. I have one on the side too.
These are great games. Although number 1 is a little weird to find. However, the price has finally started going down on it. But number two, played a shit ton of this game. This is a beautiful looking game on the 360. It's really pretty. And the combat is super fun. The story is actually pretty interesting as well. Just to let you know, Kyle, this game is made on Unreal Engine. So,
Three.
and it's colorful.
That's three.
So, yeah, and
Oh
it's
yeah, for three, yeah.
yeah,
For
yeah,
three,
yeah.
yeah, it's amazing.
But these are super solid games, and they're definitely worth looking into. They're made by kind of like a weirder company.
They're from Korea.
Yeah, I believe the company that makes these games is called Speed Tree. It's really weird though because this one was published by Atlas, and then this one was published by Bandai Namco. But yeah,
Yeah, no, that is weird.
really cool games. Pretty solid artwork on the back of this one too. But definitely have played a lot more of number two than number one. And yeah, this is one of my favorite games on the 360. It's really great. But anyway, what else you got, Kyle?
I'll put a 360 game for a 360 game. I haven't played much of this, but it is on my list because this is still part of that not duology, but part of the previous duology I just did. And you'll probably be like, "You son of a bitch."
I've got one too, Kyle.
I love it. It's a really cool, interesting game. It's about mortals. Like I'm still on this one, but it's about these mortals and like how sad it is to be a mortal and how it takes its toll and everything. And each of the main characters is essentially have a path they need to discover.
They
And it
have
reminds me of
amnesia.
Final Fantasy.
Yeah,
What?
I've beaten this one. It's definitely the Xbox Final Fantasy for the 360, made by some of the same people that made Final Fantasy, as well as
the creator.
same composer, which is kind of cool.
Hilariously, the best way to say it, if Final Fantasy was continued to be made, like a Final Fantasy 11 or 12, I think Lost Odyssey would have been it. This would have been turned into.
Yeah, Lost Odyssey has turn-based combat with a little bit of a Legend of Dragoon flair in there, with a kind of timing mechanic for your attacks to do more damage.
With the Ring of Judgment, because the people for Shadow Hearts did do that game. This game. Also, it's powered by Unreal.
Yep. Yeah, it's Xbox Final Fantasy, and it's really great. I'm surprised they never came out with Lost Odyssey 2. This is definitely a one and done type of game. Pretty long. I'd say at least 70 hours. And multiple discs. But I will see your Xbox Final Fantasy with Xbox Dragon Quest. This is Blue Dragon, a game that they were really trying to make popular at one point, but it never really took off too much. But I really like this game. It has really cool story with characters that can summon these shadows. The main character is Shu. His shadow is the Blue Dragon, and yeah, it is Dragon Quest. Essentially, it even to me has some similar sound effects, and this is made in that era of 360 games where they had the Japanese support. And a lot of these 360 games kind of, to me, felt like upgraded to PS2 games, which is not a bad thing.
No,
Lost Odyssey is definitely in that category as well, but this one definitely, another solid turn-based RPG. Fun characters, cool powers. The main villain's name is Nene, which is kind of hilarious. And if you look really closely, for some reason, when I bought this game, the price tag says Final Fantasy 13 on it. Don't know why, but it does. I just noticed that.
I gotta pick that up eventually. I should have picked that up from Kill Screen when we did.
This is such a fun game. Art by Akira Toriyama, and then Nobu. I can't
Nobu,
say his name, but
no,
good
the guy from Final
composer
Fantasy.
dude. Yeah,
Nobu Nakazuki or something. Sorry if I butcher your Japanese names. We don't speak the
yeah,
language.
yeah. I'm not even gonna attempt it, but super fun. Overworld, cool stuff. Solid game. And for the
Oh,
360, these are the JRPGs on the 360 that back when Xbox would get exclusive JRPGs. It even has like the only on Xbox thing on the top here.
yep.
But
Actually, you know what my favorite part about that game though is some of the music, especially the boss music where it goes like, "Wah! Take the bound." I was like, oh my god,
it's cool, man. It
I
is
loved
really
it.
cool.
I love to hear the piano. I was like, all right, so okay, so here's something. I'm gonna sum you up with a PS with an Xbox 360 with a PS2 remaster.
Oh man, dot hack GU.
I've literally when I bought this like last year, I literally went through an entire. I played all 3 games in a month. I literally went for it, and just remember, I was also working, so and this was a really good game. Like I love Dot Hack, and especially this one because this one has a special 4th episode, which is sort of could be like an epilogue to kind of like clean all the storylines and unanswered questions. You play as Haseo, aka Sasuke. Sorry, I had to do that. But you play as this guy who just gets de-res by this guy named Triace, and pretty much not Triace, Triad. Sorry, why did I say Triace? Goddamn game developers. But yeah, this was really fun, and yeah, no, I loved it. I played all through it. I love the mysteries of like the mysterious Ovan, all the mysteries of Triad, and the mystery of the world itself too.
Nice. Yeah.
And I know you got me into this game. So I know
Yeah,
that.
I've played the original 1, 2, and 3. However, I've never played number 4. So,
Yeah, if you're wondering, and plus Hatseo gets a new upgrade in number 4.
yeah.
It looks really cool.
Well, I will two games that I think are kind of obscure, but I really enjoy. Project Cross Zone 1 and 2. Um,
Oh,
these are strategy RPGs with characters from Capcom, Namco, and Sega. And these games have great music. It has a lot of really interesting remixes of the characters and stuff. The story is kind of like your weird interdimensional like anime crossover type of thing, but the combat is super fun. Definitely played this one a lot more. Played this one on the train to Comic-Con and stuff. I just remember like this was my con game I was playing for a long time. And then number 2 is not as long. This one is about 50 hours, and number 2 you probably could get through it in like 25 to 30 hours. Number 2 is definitely a lot more streamlined and easier to pick up. This one definitely kind of makes you grind a little bit, kind of some filler in the story, but really cool effects. Like characters have special animations for special moves and stuff. And the soundtrack is absolutely fantastic. These are some of my favorite games on Nintendo 3DS.
I'm trying to remember some games right now. Trying to remember some games. This one I just recently picked up. Haven't played too much of it, but I figured I'd mention it because we both talked about it. And this is just a series itself, Valkyrian Profiles.
Yes,
That one it has an interesting. It's a really weird, different game. It's made by Triace.
indeed. I was going to talk about it if you didn't.
Oh man, we know
One
each
of
other
the
too
rare
well.
1080p games on PS2 as well.
Yeah, it looks really good once you have the smoother on PS4,
Yeah,
PS3. Sorry, if you get it on the PS3, it looks really good. Like I played a little bit of it, and it's really fun. Like I played the original too, so and there's a lot. You have to gather up the souls of the dead to take on Odin.
Yeah.
and that's
Um,
in part two. That's in number two.
yeah, it definitely gets pretty challenging towards the end of the game. Um, Definitely knowing what on carrier you're supposed to use, and you can get so many party members in this game. It's kind of ridiculous. It can be a little overwhelming, but it does have pretty good cutscenes, full voice acting, which is nice. And
I love what they call their home company, Japan. I'm like,
yeah, it has fake countries in it too, which is kind of
Japan.
hilarious. Yeah.
I was just like, are you serious? You're gonna name your English country Japan? Yes. Uh
Well, trying to keep this like obscure games. This is another obscure handheld game. This is Joan d'Arc for the PSP, another strategy RPG made by Level 5. And this one was a game I remember curious about when the PSP first came out. It took me a while to finally get around to playing this, when I actually was playing the PSP a lot. But this is a super great turn-based RPG like Final Fantasy Tactics, and it doesn't have like the tragic ending like the historical Joan of Arc does. Just to let you know, that's kind of one of the reasons why I was a little intimidated to play this. But super super fun, really cool. Great handheld strategy RPG for anyone that's interested, and level 5. So this was level 5 was one of my favorite companies. I haven't really played any of their recent games, but back in the
Play Nino
day,
Kune 2, Chris.
yeah, I didn't really like Nino Kune 1. So
They fixed everything with Nino Kune 2. I
well,
got more into that than Dragon Quest. Like it plays like a Tales game. Sorry if I have to promote that game, but I'm just like, I know you'd love it.
well, maybe someday.
It's
But
like
anyway,
super cheap now.
yeah.
Actually, here's one I didn't play much, but I think it's actually really super niche. It's super cool. Being Kaitos.
Oh, for the GameCube,
Yeah,
battling.
it's back in the day. I hated playing card games on a handheld. Like I hated like everyone trying to do that. Like when Kingdom Hearts did, oh, we're gonna do a card game battling system. I was like, ugh. That's what made me tear it away from Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memory. Then I realized how important that game was now, but I still didn't play that card battling. But being Kaitos, they actually made it work because it was a turn-based system, and you would do it in the same vein where you pick your card and you throw it, and then sometimes like during the attack, you could actually throw your defense cards while you're being attacked. So it was really
Nice.
like cool. It was actually really cool. It felt like the closest thing to actually like an actual card game.
Yeah. Well,
So
I got a game here that we both can talk about. It's kind of the Forgotten Tales game. This is Tales
oh, I
of
knew exactly what you're talking
Legenda
about.
for the PS2. This was
Everybody
the
loves that
game.
game.
This is the game they made after Tales of Symphonia. Looking on the back of the box, I'm like, oh, this is Namco before it was Bandai Namco.
Yep.
Um, Really funny
It was Namco
characters.
Bandai.
However, this game does have a major flaw with it. Only half of the game has voice acting, and the other half is all text, which is kind of
Yep.
weird. Um,
Yeah, I think they were trying to cut on the budget or something when they were dubbing it.
Definitely has a lot more of the old school Tales game combat than the modern ones. Like this feels kind of very different than Symphonia, and feels completely different than Abyss and anything that came
Yeah.
after it. But this is a pretty fun game. Characters are your usual fun characters in a Tales game. It has a bit of a weird story, especially at the beginning with the main character looking for his sister, and everybody's like, "This guy really likes his sister like too much." Turns out they're not actually brother and sister, but
Yep.
anyway,
Yeah.
kind
Plus,
of weird. But this
it was
is
also the. It's also a first. It's also, if I'm correct, it's actually the first Tales game to actually have a protagonist that doesn't wield a sword. Actually, he actually, the first that uses just his fist as the main protagonist.
Yeah, he does fisticuffs. But this is a pretty solid game. If you have a PS2, you can pick this one up relatively cheap. From what I've seen online, like $20 and under. At least last time I checked. I don't
Yeah,
really hear many people talk about this one, but it is a Tales game, and it's
yeah. And
pretty
if you
cool.
like Tales of Destiny, you'll like this one.
And it does have a nod to Tales of Abyss actually references this game. So if you play this game and then play Tales of Abyss, you'll be like, "Oh shit." So,
Yeah, a lot. Believe it or not, I've been replaying some of the games. Like I started replaying. I started playing Tales of the Abyss, and then I started playing. Then I replayed Vesperia, and I was like, oh, I didn't even realize they nod to each other so much. Like the Blood Wings, the Evil Guild. I was like, oh,
yeah.
I never even realized that. But yeah, like we got we've been going through like a lot of our games. We were like thinking of a topic, and this just came up. So
Yeah, I'm trying to keep like relatively like weirder games this time. We do
yeah,
Me and him have like way more RPGs, but I still have quite a few I'd like to show off, Kyle. Do you still have
yeah,
some?
go right ahead.
Okay.
Go. I already have like I think I've done my stack
All
already.
right. Here's another one that I think is kind of an interesting game that I don't hear many people talk about, and this is a really fun RPG. It is Mega Man X Command Missions.
I remember borrowing that from Mike. I was like, this is impossible.
This game is actually pretty addicting. Really simple combat. Great music. Has a lot of tracks from Mega Man X7 remixed in this game that sound really cool. Especially the opening stage has some of the Mega Man X7 cutscene music remixed. And I know a lot of people don't like Mega Man X7, but I played a lot of that game back in the day, and I think it's fine. But this is really fun. X has really cool command armor. You go to a place called Giga City, but this game has really great music, and the story is actually pretty cool for a Mega Man story.
Yeah,
No Sigma, which is different. Um, quite a few playable characters that join your party, and quite a few really cool like superpowers, like super moves you can get from doing special quests. You get to see X and Zero in like pretty unique looking armors towards the end of the game if you do a lot of the secret missions, which is always cool to see how Mega Man X like changes appearance in his games. So Mega Man X Command Missions, you can get
I
this on all three of the 6th generation systems. So
except for
GameCube.
Xbox.
No, I thought this has an Xbox version.
No, it's only on PS2 and GameCube.
Really interesting.
Yeah.
Well, this is the GameCube version.
But actually, I have two games that just popped in my mind. These are just there's two of them. One I actually played when I was when like Digimon Data Squad came out, and it was Digimon Data Squad World, and it played like as a like a JRPG. So that was really fun. But this one you played Digimon Cyber Sleuth.
Yeah, Cyber Sleuth is super fun. I really enjoyed the first one. Haven't got around to finishing the second one yet,
I'm
but
done with the first one. I just haven't gotten around to it.
yeah,
So
super
I
fun.
should finish that. I
Yeah.
love it. I
Oh,
loved it. I love playing. It's addicting to start. I'm trying so hard to get Omnimon and all these other crazy Digimon. Oh no. I'm trying so hard to get Imperiumon fighter mode right now.
you have to pretty much like you can't get him until like the very end of the game, just to let you know.
Yeah, I know.
Like I think
I
you might
know.
even need to beat the game and then you can get him. But I did get him. I can't remember exactly what you have to do, but I remember you do need to be like at the end of the game, like on the final chapter. And
Yeah,
it's
and
a pretty
also
tough battle to get him.
yeah,
You need to have certain Digimon in your party in order to beat it.
yeah. But like I said, I've been trying to get that because I did get Imperiumon in that game. also Diaboromon, but then I realized I can't evolve him into his more apocalyptic. No, I do have a no. I don't remember. Apocalypse.
Yeah.
I don't
Well,
remember he's in the game, so
yeah. I got
but
another game to show off.
go.
This is Makai
Oh,
Kingdom on the PS2. This is my favorite Disgaea game ever. It's made by Nice or NIS. It has a fantastic, hilarious story with Zeta, who is one badass freaking overlord. The best part of this game is the story, and it has all of. If you grew up watching, anime on Adult Swim, it has a lot of like anime regular voice actors in it, just really giving really cool performances for these characters. Like Christian Freeman is the main character, Zeta, and he's hilarious and awesome. And if you like Disgaea, you'll like this a lot. This is made by the same people that make Disgaea. In fact, you get further in the game, Lahoro will join your party. But this is my favorite Disgaea game that they've ever made. I'm kind of shocked that they never did like a HD remake of this because you play as all the overlords in that universe, and this is super awesome and definitely this is worth a play, especially if
you
you like
know,
Disgaea.
NIS is right now in trouble, right?
Oh no, what they do?
They're running out of money.
Oh shit.
Yeah, Chris, get the remake. I'll buy 40 of those.
Well, then pick up the PS2 version. I really don't know how much this game goes for anymore just cuz I've had it like forever. But yeah, this is in my opinion the best Disgaea game. Um so yeah. Uh I have 3 more games, Kyle, if you want me to just
Go
go
ahead.
through them. Okay.
Go ahead.
This is a weird game.
I got one more game. I got one more game that just popped in my head.
Okay.
You agree with me because you play with this game. Valkyrian Chronicles.
I have never really played Valkyria Chronicles that much.
It's very underappreciated, even though it has like 4 different games in the series. Like Sega loves this series a lot. So like it's a very interesting game. It's like if you give Advanced Wars and third person shooting and a tactical and let you roam around for a certain amount. And that's pretty much how I can describe the game. Like you have a tank, which is your commander, and then you have people that go off, and you have a. It's really cool. It's like an alternate version. It's like a high tech sci-fi. I don't know where I could call it. It's a mixture between fantasy and sci-fi put together, and like a little like a steampunkish like way. And
Yeah, Steampunk definitely fits that game.
I couldn't really think of the way to describe it. A high
Yeah.
fantasy steampunk game, and it takes place in an alternate version of World War II called the European War, and it is pretty great. Story is very good. It's about these people that lost their hometown and everything, and they even admit like that the brother and sister aren't brothers and sisters. They see each other as brother and sister. So at least that's good. They take it right off the bat, unlike a certain other game we mentioned. And like if you're looking for something, I would say go for that game. And
Yeah.
there's like 4 in the series, but we only have 2 of them here in the United States. So yeah, super. I can
We
kind of
have 3 of them.
no. We have we have 3
we
of
have
them. Never
3 of
mind.
them.
Never
We
mind.
have 1, 2, and
The
4.
third one never came here. The
Yeah.
third one never came
Yeah.
here. Yeah, we have 3 of them. One of them's on the PSP.
Right.
And you can also play on a Switch, by the way. So you can play on a Switch if you guys have a Switch.
Yeah. So,
So
this is kind of a weird game. It's an exclusive PS3 game back in the day. This is Folklore for PlayStation 3.
ooh, I love.
This was kind of like a game they made to really show off what the PS3 could do. It sort of has like a Pokemon-esque gimmick to it where you get these different monsters called folk and use them in battle. It is a really pretty game, interesting mystery type of game with kind of like a creepy atmosphere in the town, but then you go into these like fantasy worlds or sort of like this other type of world. It's been a long time since I played this one. I played this when PS3 first came out, but I thought this was worth mentioning just because it's kind of a pretty cool game that doesn't really get much play anymore.
And it's done by Japan Studio, right?
Yeah, and this was a Sony exclusive game as well.
Yeah.
But it is a cool game and it has great visuals. I'm not sure if they ever updated this game, but you had to use 6-axis controls to catch the folks. So that is something to just be aware of. So
Yeah, they updated it, but they still had to use the folks thing.
yeah,
But but if I remember correctly, they added DualShock 3 support to it.
right, for Rumble.
And I played it with it. It's not that bad. I didn't mind Folklore with the 6-axis. It was like, okay, do that. That's fine. And then just with the boss going like boom, boom, boom. Like it felt really interactive.
Yeah.
I felt like that was when 6-axis was done right.
Yeah. All right, I got two more, Kyle.
Go ahead.
This is Last Story for Nintendo Wii. This is actually a super well-made game. From start to finish, it is a really well-made RPG. And one good thing about it is it's not too long. However, it's a satisfying play. The story is actually really good. Surprisingly, it kind of is a little bit of a love story, but it's super fun and really cool. You have almost like 6 people in your party sometimes, maybe even more. It's been a while since I've actually played this one, but this was a great game, and it's on the Nintendo Wii of all things. So, and Final Fantasy composer right there. So, he's good.
That's like probably gonna be my next game. I need a short JRPG.
All right, and
but
go on.
Yeah, that would probably be my next JRPG. So yeah, I definitely would probably play it because I have it. I got it like a while ago, and I still don't see it at GameStop anymore.
Yeah, I haven't seen it around, but this is my final game, a game that I absolutely loved, and it was kind of the last game I played on this system before the system died. This is Tokyo Mirage Session.
Ooh, that's fun.
This is a weird thing for me because I have barely played Fire Emblem and have barely played Persona. However,
it's actually Shin Megami Tensei, but the point is, it's part of that franchise.
Whatever.
Hey, I'm just trying to help you.
Yeah, I absolutely love this game. It's really weird and super Japanese. Completely Japanese voice acting. Just a heads up, so you will need to read all the dialogue. But it's about kind of becoming a J-pop idol, as well as a manager of a J-pop talent agency, and going into like this mystic world called like the Icon Sphere. And this game is 80 hours long, and I totally loved it. Super solid turn-based battles, really cool team mechanics with all your party members. Quite a few different people in this game that you can be, but this was an exclusive for Nintendo Wii, and it definitely can be found really cheap right now. I've seen this at Target really cheap. If you still have a Nintendo Wii, this is definitely worth playing. It has fantastic music, which is really cool.
Music. I love the music. I actually go blast it on my phone once in a while.
Yeah, and the characters are kind of combined with Fire Emblem characters. So like the main guy, he's combined with Chrom and other people in Fire Emblem that I don't know too well, but really cool. system of battles where you can like switch party members in and out, super elaborate attacks with really cool animations.
Yep.
Yeah, this is definitely one of my favorite RPGs on the Wii U, which is my favorite Nintendo system at the moment, just because I don't have Nintendo Switch yet. But I really like this game, and it's
I
really
actually
awesome.
have. You just reminded me of one more game I should have added, but I'll just add it really quick. These were the games that started the whole Persona craze, which is Persona 3 and 4. Because what I love about those games is like one, you go through high school and blah blah blah, all the dating sim stuff, but they actually make it work so well. But what I like about it is the mysteries around it. Like I love the murder mystery in Persona 4 the most because you got to figure out who did it first. But that's my honorable mentions.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Well,
now Persona 5 is now super popular, and now everybody's like wants to go get them.
there's a ton of other games we've definitely played, but those were kind of more obscure ones that I've never really seen too many people on the internet talk about. So
Yeah, these are
those,
like personal opinions and everything.
yeah. So I guess that's pretty much it. You want to end the podcast, Kyle?
Yeah, so I'm gonna end this with one thing. Chris, what have you been playing? What have you been watching?
Why you gotta ask me this every week, Kyle? You know I've been working like crazy, man. I've barely been watching anything, and I've been struggling to get through the Legendary Heroes Trials of Cold Steel on the PS4. I'm on Chapter 6. I'm close to the end. However, it will probably be another 2 weeks before I beat the game because of how crazy my work schedule is. So, Kyle,
and we have too many games coming up.
yeah. So, what have you been doing, Kyle?
Well, I've been playing a bunch of RPGs. Like I've been playing. That's what inspired, our topic, which is Shadow Hearts. Which I was like, think that's how it inspired this topic.
Yeah.
You know, so and looking around online stuff, and I watched Men in Black International.
Oh boy.
Yep, it's actually a pretty good movie.
Nice.
There's I heard about the controversy stuff, but it's not as bad as Hellboy. It's not as
Yeah.
bad. It's not as bad as Hellboy. Definitely not as terrible. What I've been hearing, I haven't watched it yet. I'm just saying from what I heard. Then what I heard from Ghostbusters, the
Okay.
one like Sony's other reboots, and it's not. It. I think it's probably Sony's best attempt at a reboot. I think, but I feel bad. There's even like a Thor reference too
Yeah.
in the movie, and it cracked me up. But it's a good movie. I say everyone should give this movie a chance, but I wouldn't say you shouldn't rush to the movie theater to go watch it now. But we are the Mediaverse podcast. As always, if you like our stuff, let us know. Put a like. We hate it. Dislike. We always like something. If you feel like you want to say something, some constructive, tell us how we're doing. Please put a comment down below. We are always reading down those comments. And hopefully you all enjoyed this podcast. We have been the Mediaverse podcast. We are now signing out.
That's my job.